Hello everyone, Jamie Trull here, your favorite CPA and financial literacy coach. And today on this channel, I'm excited to talk about something we've never talked about that I can recall, and that is inventory management. So if you are a small business owner that carries any level of inventory, right? Maybe you are a reseller, for instance, and you are buying goods and reselling them. And so you have inventory that you are holding onto in the interim. What the heck are you supposed to do? What are the rules around that? What's important? What do you need to know? And what is a cost-effective solution for managing and tracking that inventory that is not going to break the bank? So before we jump into the system that I recommend, I first want to talk about the why, okay? Why do we need to track this? Why is it important? You probably already have an answer to this in your mind, but it actually may be more than what you're thinking. So there are actually two reasons that we want to make sure we have a handle on our inventory, right? One of them is from a purely managerial point of view, right? We want to be able to manage, know what inventory we have good track of it, know when we need to reorder, make all of those management decisions. That is super duper important when it comes to inventory. And we also want to make sure that we have what we need from an accounting perspective, right? Are we able to determine what our true cost of goods was from an accounting perspective? Are we reporting that correctly on our taxes? So that is really important as well. And a lot of times systems that you might find elsewhere will do one of those things, but not both, right? They're either tracking it from a management perspective or they're tracking it from an accounting perspective, but not necessarily doing both of those things, which I really think is what we need to be doing in this space. Now, there are tons and tons of inventory systems out there. And I do recommend if you have really complex inventory, maybe you have thousands of SKUs, maybe you're tracking just a ton of different things, maybe you're tracking separately raw materials and finished goods and work in process and things like that. If that's you, you probably need a system. And I mean a system in terms of not a spreadsheet, not something that is very manual. You want something that you can implement within your business that is going to make tracking so much easier. Okay, so if that's you, there are tons of different systems out there. I can give you a place to look where you can find and compare some of those systems. Now, if that is not you though, if you're a small business owner that carries inventory, but you don't have thousands of SKUs, it's not this super complicated thing. And maybe you just have things that you're reselling, right? You have finished goods inventory you're purchasing and you're hanging on to it and then you're reselling it. And you need to be able to track that inventory for tax and management purposes. Well, then I have something that's going to be actually even better than some of these softwares. Because let's go on over here. I'm going to show you a comparison of some of these softwares on a website that I found that will illustrate my point. So here you can see I'm on Capterra, which I found just kind of Googling various different inventory management programs. And this one really is just comparing various different inventory management softwares. And I think you can tell just by scrolling down through here, right? A lot of these are per month fees. They're most of the time going to be fairly significant per month fees in the hundreds of dollars sometimes. And if you are paying one-time fees, they're not going to be small. So this one right here is $4,000. This is $100,000. This is $2,000. Now, I don't know what all these systems do. So there is probably some way that you can kind of parse through this and try to figure out what you need. But honestly, this is just the A's. We're still in the A's right now. That's how many software systems there are out here. But you can tell a lot of them are just not inexpensive, right? And these are really speaking towards much bigger businesses than perhaps you have. And so if that's you and you're like, but I just have a small business, I have like 25 different, maybe 50 different SKUs, things that I resell. I don't have thousands of transactions in a month. Do I really need a software like this? My answer to you is probably not. Okay, you probably don't need to be paying recurring monthly fees for a software or a really big upfront fee for a software to manage this for you, but you still need the data. So don't fall into the trap of not tracking this at all and kind of scrambling at tax time, because you're also missing out on important information that could inform your decision making, right? Like, when should you reorder? How much should you be reordering? What are your top sellers? What things are not selling and are not turning over very quickly? Do you know all of those inventory turnover ratios, which are important even for very small businesses? So if you are looking for something that has all of those capabilities, right, but is not going to cost you hundreds of dollars a month or anywhere even close to that, then definitely check out my new Inventory Management Worksheet. I'm really excited about it. It hits on both the accounting things that you need to do, right, to keep track of your weighted average cost of your inventory and your cost of goods sold, but it also has really important metrics around inventory turnovers and reorder dates and all of the really great information that's going to help you make decisions about your inventory. So I'm going to jump right on into that and give you a little tutorial of how it works, because I think just seeing it in action will help you determine if this is something that is right for you and your business. You'll start by entering in your opening balances, and that can be at any point in the year when you decide to start using this worksheet. Then you're also going to put in any purchases that you have made of new inventory during that period, and then also purchases that you have made but you haven't yet received. And then lastly, you're going to record any sales that you've made of that inventory during the period that you want to track for. Now, importantly, on each of these tabs, you're only going to need to input information into the yellow sections. Everything else will auto-populate based on what you put on previous tabs. And once you put in all that information, then you can let the magic happen. The worksheet will take over and it will calculate all of the important metrics and information and values that you need to properly track your inventory and get the information that you need to make better business decisions. We even have a tab that tells you exactly when it is time to reorder your stock. It'll tell you the number of days of inventory you have on hand, give you your turnovers and sell-through rates, and it's going to tell you exactly when you should expect to need to reorder that inventory. And not only that, it's also going to track all the important information you need to know how many units you have on hand of each type of inventory, as well as what the closing value of that inventory is for accounting purposes. We use the weighted average cost method, which is an acceptable accounting method, to value that inventory. And just for fun, we also include information on best sellers. It's going to tell you the average number of each type of inventory that you're selling per day and the estimated number that you'll sell in the year, as well as the percentage sales each of those makes up. And that's going to help you decide whether or not you continue to sell certain inventory or you decide to move away from it. So hopefully that tutorial was helpful and gave you a little bit of an understanding of how the worksheet works, and you can determine whether or not that is something that could work in your business. Now, importantly, if you want to use this, maybe you have separate platforms, maybe you're selling on eBay and Poshmark or whatever you are doing, you could technically buy this spreadsheet one time and just have a second version that you use that you can track separately, eBay versus Poshmark if you want. Maybe you have more than 50 SKUs. Well, you can actually, duplicate that worksheet if you want to, even just buying one. So that's what some people that I know have done and have made it work for them. So I'm really excited about it. JamieTrull.com/inventory to go check it out. When I'm recording this, because we are just now releasing this, we have a deal. And we have a deal right now because it's towards the end of the year, beginning of next year. I'm not sure if you're watching this later. I'm not sure what the deals might be. So go check out JamieTrull.com/inventory. But we do have a special deal right now we want you to go check out and go see if this is going to work for you. We have a video over there too that goes into some detail about how this worksheet works and tons of FAQs to help you determine if this is right for you. So thanks for joining me. I hope you go check out all of that great stuff. If you like this content on inventory, I'm happy to do more of it. Just let me know below and we will be creating more and more great content to help you manage your inventory for your small business, and we'll see you next time.